Okay. You ready? You ready? So hey, just like usual, I don't know if you guys have any questions about anything, but if you do, now is the time. Anything. Any kind of question? No? You two?
No,
I can't think of it off the top of my head right
All right, well, I got a question for you guys. Well, I already know, but just for the sake of I need to kill a few seconds. What supplements are you taking right now? Or are you taking any supplements?
Yes, I take omega-3. I take vitamin D. I take iron tablet. And those are prescribed, of course.
Oh, okay.
Um, Now I'm going to start a thyroid medication.
Are you
Pretty much
really?
that's it. Yes. So
Do you have is it a hypo or hyperthyroid?
hypo.
Okay.
So you see, I was misdiagnosed. Well, I wasn't diagnosed at all by the endocrinologist because she didn't care. So I went to see a nurse practitioner and did the test, and then she told me. So I'll start that today. I'm waiting on that to come.
Okay.
But besides those, everything else that I've told you, those supplements are all prescribed because the
Okay.
nurse practitioner found out my red blood cell, the size of them are tiny.
Yeah.
I have low iron, low hemoglobin. Everything is so low, and my vitamin D level is way low. So,
Okay.
yeah, those are the things that I'm taking. And of course, I take a vitamin B6 and 12 because I don't always eat animal products or meat.
Okay.
Right. So a little bit of that is in my diet, but it's not the main component of my diet. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Good. Okay. Now I got a question for you though before we move on. So when you say supplements, because this is a thing that a lot of people aren't clear on. So for one, doctors, a lot of people don't know this. Doctors don't go to school for nutrition. They might take some nutrition courses along the way, but they don't. That's not part of their practice.
I know.
No. Obviously, you probably know it, but I'm just saying a lot of people think that like because they just think a doctor generally just kind of covers everything. It's like they don't go to school for that, right?
Mm.
In fact, I was listening to a TED talk today. This guy was talking about that, which is part of the problem of that we have when doctors prescribe things. And a lot of times when people say a supplement, they're saying a drug. So did they prescribe you? Well, I mean, iron's going to be a supplement, stuff like that. Do they prescribe any drugs for the stuff?
The only drug now would be that thyroid that I'm going to start, and I'm going to start.
Yeah, right. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, pretty much that's it. Because she does things from a functional side, so she definitely wants to see, vitamin D. Those are the things go up.
Right. She's going off your labs and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, my protein too. I forgot. My protein levels were way too low.
Oh, so were they really?
I increased that,
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was just good to get those different blood tests to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I can better my health,
Of course. Yeah, that's smart for sure. For sure. Okay. What about you, Lauren?
I take so many supplements. I mean, I don't know how long your program is.
What?
Why
are you serious? Goodness gracious.
I rotate some of them out, but some of the mainstays, the magnesium and the fish oil.
You were skipping. What was that first one? I thought you said opium. I'm like, that's not a supplement.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Magnesium.
Okay, gotcha.
Fish oil. I added vitamin D because you're supposed to take magnesium with vitamin D.
Yeah, it helps.
And, like various stuff. I mean, creatine, sometimes I'm on that. Different, all the stuff.
I didn't know it was that extensive, though. Okay, all right.
Take about 20 a day.
You take what?
Probably like 20.
Oh my God!
What in the world? Read.
Let me do it. I know what's happening here.
Wow. And you still got those old joints.
Yeah. One
You
of
know
them.
what? We're gonna talk about the efficacy here. We're gonna talk about the efficiency of these supplements. Golly. Okay, so
Hello.
first off, thank you for sharing. All right, cool. All right. So listen, obviously there's different outlooks on supplements, and I get I'm gonna say my elevators, I'm gonna say my opinion for after we listen to some of these videos. But there's different perspectives, and just like anything else in the fitness industry, which this is why you have to be careful with the fitness industry, because there's a ton of information out there. Not only is there a ton of information, there's a ton of different opinions out there, right? And if you talk to like 10 different, I guarantee you can Google right now and you can find 10 videos on why you don't need supplements, right? Right. And how they don't work and all this other shit. Then you can find 10 videos that talk about the need for supplementation and different populations that might be more at risk and blah 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 blah. Okay, but this is why I appreciated college, because it teaches you how to be a very critical thinker. And you guys, one goal I have today of this call was to help you guys just be more informed on, as the consumer, on both sides of the fence. It's good to hear both sides, both arguments, and then also take your personal experience and just kind of use that to drive your decision making when it comes to supplementation, right? And things change. Like when I first started 20 years ago, in the fitness industry, is very different now than how it was as far as supplement goes. And I think like when I started, I mean, this is like I said, 20 years ago, they had vitamins and stuff, but a lot of these sports supplements, were
Yeah.
kind of like they just started coming out with pre-workouts. They did have protein and stuff like that, but over time, as things advance and things change and all that stuff, the supplement industry has definitely morphed. Some in some ways good, some ways bad, but there's a lot more options these days. Tons of different things you can choose from. The regulation, as far as my understanding goes, is a little bit better. It's back in the day. I think they're still trying to log in. Hang on.
It was me sending out a
Oh, was
message.
that? Yeah, but someone else just sent one now. I don't know who that was. Oh, you sent something out?
Yeah.
You sent another thing out? Okay. But yeah, so these days, it's a little bit better regulated. 'Cause back in the day, they didn't have to regulate shit. There was nothing, like they could just put whatever
Right.
they yeah, and like
Remember-
baking soda in there. They could just put a fancy label on whatever, right? Now they do test them, but it's more like cyclical testing. Like they don't test every single lot in batch. But it's better. It's better. By law, they are supposed to test. So with all that said, all right, there's no more questions. You guys don't have any questions or anything? I'm gonna jump into these videos. Hey, so the first one just kind of goes over it's kind of against supplements. You'll see. It's a pretty quick video. And then I should have one where I think the guy didn't listen to the whole thing, so it'll be kind of new for me. Just I'll be watching it with you guys. But he was kind of digging into why people may need supplements. And then the last one was pretty cool. I think the guy's a trainer, but it was going over like a questionnaire almost kind of thing to determine whether you think you need supplements or not. Okay, so let me turn this thing on. Hang on, let me see what's gonna happen here. This is usually a little bit slow. Hang out for a second. Okay. This first one is a YouTube. Let me know if you guys can hear this or not. It's not on yet.
Okay.
Loading. Here we go. 2 minutes.
Yay.
Let me make sure you can hear this thing. Okay, here we go. No sound. No sound. Okay, here we go.
Millions of people in North America
hear that?
are regular
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
voters. The question is, what do you actually need? Daphne Steinberg is a registered dietitian at Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center and says the data is complicated.
This isn't something that you really want to do on your own unless you have a lot of knowledge. It's if you're deficient in something, your doctor's going to let you know that, because hopefully they're monitoring for that and they know what your risks are.
For most adults under 50, Steinberg says a balanced diet and not the vitamin aisle is the best place to start.
Most vitamins and minerals are most easily absorbed through food.
Getting your vitamins and minerals this way will also offer added benefits like fiber. So when do you need to take a supplement?
Once you get to be over 50, then a standard multivitamin mineral supplement is recommended because you do have a little bit more difficulty absorbing some of the things from food.
At younger ages, Steinberg says that standard multivitamins can play a role if you have gaps in your diet, but more definitely doesn't equal better.
If you're not deficient in something, then there's really no reason to be taking excess amounts of things because there can be dangers associated with that.
For example, too much vitamin C can cause kidney stones, and too much vitamin E has been linked to all cause mortality. Certain vitamins and minerals can also interfere with some medications, so make sure your doctor and pharmacist are aware of everything you're taking. So, what about vitamin fortified waters? Steinberg says she doesn't recommend them.
There's sugar in it, so it can cause weight gain. It can increase your blood sugar if you have diabetes. And also, you can potentially exceed your vitamin requirements from drinking these things, which can have potential side effects.
There are dietary reference intakes for all vitamins and minerals for all stages, ages, and genders. But rather than try and guess what's best for you, talk to your doctor, pharmacist, or registered dietitian to know for sure. With Sunnyview, I'm Monica Mattis.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty quick there, obviously. That's that one. What did you two think? Any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that? What do you think about that?
Oh, I mean, just just don't take anything. For me, I've never heard like only people really over 50 needs that supplement.
Right.
I've always been taught,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you need a vitamin every day, but
Yeah. That was new to me too.
Yeah.
Too, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I know that you can get kidney stones from stuff, or even kidney damage, or some of those like immunity boosters actually put your immune system into like hyper mode, which is bad for you. And that's a good example of using something you probably don't need to use.
Right.
As an athlete, I deplete through a lot more with sweating and the work, and I'm trying to like optimize. So I try to do some like biohacking through supplementation.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, I'm with both you guys. Yeah, that was that when she said the over 50 thing. I mean, there may be more of a need at that point, just because the body in general is probably not functioning as well as it could. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you can't or you shouldn't take it younger than that. In my opinion, right? Right. And then and then same thing with Reed, like and I'm glad you actually, Reed, I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my points. So here's a few issues that I had with the video, and I'm not. Listen, I'm not a doctor. I've been doing this a long time. I have my own education, my own scopes that I've been through and stuff like that. And I'm not picking on doctors. She was actually a registered dietitian, so it's a little bit better. But a lot of people don't realize when doctors give insight, a lot of times they're just going off of like a general population, right? They're just dealing with a general population. They're not necessarily taking the individual and their lifestyle, their specific lifestyle, their specific body composition, things like that into account. That's why they use things like BMI, right? Body mass index.
Mhm.
Because really, which is an effective tool for maybe comparing like a certain population to another population as far as their weight goes. But it tells you absolutely zero as far as the individual's actual health, right? And it's this
Yeah.
little chart that identifies weight versus height, which again, weight doesn't make you healthy. You and I have this conversation for that, plenty of times. Weight does not determine your health.
Mhm.
The body fat percentage, it's the composition of the weight, right? So same thing happens kind of, with the supplement recommendations and things like that. When she was saying all this stuff, the first thing that popped into my mind was, well, what it really depends on is the population you're talking about. Because if you're talking about sedentary people who are not exercising or working out or not athletes, then a lot of that stuff might be true. But when you are more active and you're exerting more, then
Or cut it.
yeah, I mean, you're going to be depleted. You're going to be more depleted because you're expending more calories and nutrients.
Or
So
not it.
yeah, and I doubt she was probably she probably just wasn't taking that into consideration. She's just speaking to the
Yeah.
kind of general public, right? So that's kind of one issue. The other thing is, this is like a little thing, but it's important. Some of this is a matter of terminology. Like when people say supplements, that is an enormous term. That's a huge umbrella term, right? And like there's a lot of different kinds of supplements. I think automatically people just think of vitamins.
Yeah.
When they hear the word supplements, they automatically just think vitamins. But
I
there
think
are
that's
supplements for a lot of different things, like your joints, like your cardiac output, like your cognitive function, like there's just especially when you get to sports supplements. I mean, like that's a whole other category you can dig into of supplementation that has nothing to do with vitamins. So I do agree. I mean, like I would always say, yes, try to get whole food for the most part. Um, but the argument, unfortunately, these days, that argument really, in my opinion, it's just not that effective because, for one, it's really hard to eat balanced for most people, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it just is. Like a lot of people don't have resources, and we live in a place where thankfully there's a lot of grocery stores and stuff like that. But some people don't. Some people don't. Some people live in food deserts where they don't have like corner stores, right? And
Mm.
then or that are close, that are accessible to them. Then it's also the quality of the food. Yeah, it would be great ideally if we could just eat some fucking food, some balanced, food and get all the stuff we need from it. But unfortunately, a lot of the soil's depleted, a lot of the way they process stuff, they're
Yeah.
spraying with a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? And so
Yes.
it's like the quality of the food, that's another thing that I think a lot of doctors, nutritionists don't necessarily take into account. Their intentions are in the right place. And it's like, yeah, our bodies can recognize that food. And there's some research that suggests that supplements are kind of harder for us to absorb and actually get the nutrients out of. And then, which I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but then there's different schools of thoughts where they think that the whole food, the whole supplement is better than taking like standardized or like specific parts, specific nutrients out of the food, right? So, anyways, we can get into that later. But again, it's just the moral of the story. It's really, really hard and it's difficult to get all of the stuff you can from food. I mean, it just is. And then the last thing I had was the quality of the supplements too. That's another thing. I think that a lot of times when you deal with studies, and this is again why you got to think so critically, because a lot of studies are done very, very poorly. They don't specify what population they're doing it on. They don't specify what kind of people they're dealing with. They don't specify like the brand of the supplements, for instance, right? There's so many different kinds of supplements. Obviously, some are better than others. Some are more tested, some are more pure, some are all that stuff. So when they're saying that, yeah, you may or may not need some of these things, I think there's a lot of different factors that determine that, and it just kind of depends again on the lifestyle, what they're getting through their diet, are they active or not, things like that, right? All right. So, this next one, any more questions on that one or anything?
No.
Okay, cool. This one should be, like I said, I didn't want the whole thing. This guy was talking about basically the need for supplements, some of the stuff that we had already said. So let me put that one on real quick here. Let's see. This one's a little bit longer. So, just hang out. Try to follow it. Let me see here. Okay, we're loading. We're loading. All right. 15 seconds. Oh, hang on. Skip. Okay, 6 minutes, almost 7.
Hey guys,
Okay.
Dr. In this video, I'm going to answer a question. Do I need to take supplements if I'm already healthy? Okay, really good question. Well, the first thing we're going to talk
You
about
guys hear
is
that?
Yes.
what does healthy mean? Does it mean, well, I'm not on any medication, I'm not grossly overweight? Well, let's just take a look. The definition of health should be someone that has amazing energy, great sleep, no inflammation in the body, good digestion, good adrenals, everything is working and it's optimum. And try to find someone like that. I haven't found anyone like that. So we all have body issues going on. So if your health is really, really perfect, then maybe you don't need to supplement. But even then, it's very difficult to get food that has all the nutrients because the soils are so depleted in America. Now, in other parts of the world, it's much better. There's higher levels of nutrients in food in different places. Like, for example, Africa. People that are actually live in Africa, their teeth are really, really strong. They have huge roots, good dental structure because the soils are so rich. Now, if you were raised on food that was grown on incredibly fertile soil, that's a whole different conversation. But in America, the soil is empty. So the food is empty. You can only get so much nutrients from the food if the soil doesn't provide for the nutrients. Now, if you had a past history of eating junk food like myself, I lived on pure sugar until I was probably 20, 22 years old. The only thing green that I ate was pistachio ice cream and lime green jello. I never even ate a vegetable. So my health was very, very bad. It caught up with me, by the way. But the point is that your history has a lot to do with your current health. Stress-wise, environmental, eating junk foods, just depriving the body. So yes, you're going to need supplements to actually support the weak links that are occurring from the past. Problems in your digestion, your adrenals, you have inflammatory conditions, chronic sleep issues. Let's say you're in a bad marriage for 10 years and you're stressed out. Well, your adrenals need some support, so you're going to have to add supplements. Now, when you're doing the keto adaptation, where your body's switching over from fat to sugar, it's really necessary to beef up B vitamins and trace minerals. Very important because you're not going to get that from the food, especially if you want to avoid various symptoms, keto rash, keto flu, keto fatigue, and all the other symptoms. And then we have the factor of the environment. We live in a chemical planet. Every year there's new chemicals in the environment. You're constantly being exposed. So what's going to happen, that's going to mess up your endocrine system, your liver, and that will prevent you from absorbing nutrients and countering the benefits of nutrients. The nutrients in food, especially the phytonutrients, are there to dismantle and clean up these chemicals. But if you're not consuming enough of the right vegetables for like cruciferous and things like that, then you're not going to actually extract those poisons in your body. And then we have just getting our RDAs or our requirement nutrients. I think a lot of people don't realize how much food you have to consume to get your basic necessities, like even potassium. You need 4,700 milligrams. Very rarely will anyone consume enough vegetables to get that. You need 7 to 10 cups. So it's virtually almost impossible to get your basic nutrient requirements based on the soils, based on the environmental toxicity, and also the current body problems that people have. So I want to give you a quick example of how I use nutrients on different conditions. Here's one right here, Digest Formula. This is an acid to help you absorb protein and minerals. So if your stomach acid is not strong enough, you can't pull that in. So we're not providing nutrients, we're providing the ability to absorb your nutrients. Here's another example right here, Gallbladder Formula. This doesn't have any nutrients in it. It has bile, purified bile salts to help you extract the fat soluble vitamins from the food that you're already eating. So those two just help absorption. This targets the nutrients for the adrenals to help with stress, especially if your weak link is adrenal, okay? And then we have the Nike formula for the adrenal too, to support the adrenals in a different way to help you relax, go to sleep, so your energy can start rejuvenating and you can support the adrenals through a good night's sleep. Here's another example of a stronger adrenal product. For those people that have advanced adrenal fatigue, okay, this product would be more of a concentrated cruciferous, which is a blend of about 13 different cruciferous vegetables, which help give you a broad-based spectrum of the foods that most people don't consume, so you can actually help support a healthy liver. And then we have something called estrogen balance with DIM. Okay, now DIM is a concentrated cruciferous. You would have to consume 2 pounds of cruciferous to equal just 1 pill. And the reason I created this is just because a lot of people are estrogen dominant and we need to balance that. So that's what that's for. And then we have this one called organic raw wheatgrass juice powder. Now, 1 teaspoon of this is equivalent to about 9 to 11 shots of wheatgrass, okay? That's an entire tray of wheatgrass. It'd be very difficult to consume that much food, so it's a very concentrated. And the cool thing is the wheatgrass is grown on a super rich, fertile soil. So you get the benefit of those trace minerals without the high heat. So everything's under low heat. So we have this super enzyme-rich, concentrated superfood. And then we have the electrolyte powder. Again, minerals, trace minerals, but a lot of potassium. Each teaspoon is 1,000 milligrams. Our bodies need 4,700 grams of potassium every day. It's like 7 to 10 cups of vegetable, not like iceberg lettuce, but high quality vegetable. Very few people do that. So this allows people to enhance the diet. So I'm just showing you those to show you that the purpose of supplements are not necessarily always to get the nutrients, but to support weak links in the body and help you absorb the nutrients that you're already getting from the diet. All right? Thanks for watching. So Karen and I are going to create some.
Well. All right. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool myself.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I like that.
Oh yeah. And you know what, Will, I can tell you that coming from Jamaica to here,
Yeah.
you know, our soil is completely different
I bet.
and nothing is so, you know, made up and using all of these chemicals.
Right.
So, you know, my diet, my health was way better, to be honest, you know, and I wasn't exposed to fast food. We only had a KFC. It was, you know, it was so,
Right.
you know, so yeah, I think I see what he's saying. I think supplement plays a role, you
Mhm.
know. Yeah.
For sure.
Interesting.
For sure. Yeah, that's good. Good experience that you can compare the two. You
Yeah.
know? But I hear that a lot when people travel. That the food's just different. It's like more,
Yeah.
you know.
More flavorful because
is.
it
Yeah.
Or-
they're making it.
because
Yeah.
food is medicine, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with just everything you guys said, like you know the environment, how they're preparing it, you know, all that stuff, the quality of the food. So,
Yeah.
but you know, we are here, and
We're here.
we are here now, and there's a lot of like he had a lot of good points, man, and like just stuff that I've had conversations about, but you know, good reminders. Just like the toxins, like even just you know the environment, the air you're breathing and stuff like that. Sometimes supplements isn't just about getting like nutrients. It's about you know combating these like free radicals and carcinogens and things like that we're putting in our body. And then what he said about the hormones, you know, I don't know if you guys got that, but he said that most
Yeah.
people are estrogen dominant, which I was like, man, that's crazy. And you know what? I guess it kind of makes sense because there's a lot of stuff that actually, especially for men, but also for women, that can throw off your hormone levels and you lower your testosterone and raise your estrogen. Like little random things like receipt paper. Like I didn't know
Yeah.
receipt
And
paper, plastic
hormone-
bags. Yeah, like
Yeah.
parabens and all these chemicals and you know these you know what and even things that we have probably sitting around the house like air fresheners and things like that, you know,
Mhm.
that are like carcinogens that a lot of people don't think about. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty good video. Just a different side of the fence, just to give you, you know, some food for thought or whatever. Now this last one, hang on real quick, bear with me. Oh, this is a really quick one. This is an Instagram thing.
Okay.
It's random, you guys, but I thought it was kind of cool. It's not really supplementation. It's more like nutrition. But let me play this one for you guys real quick. I just thought it would be cool to include this in here. Let me see. Oh, hopefully I don't have to log into Instagram. Hang on one second. Where's it gonna go? Come on now. It was talking about a superfood. Here we go. All right. Let me see if we can hear this thing.
Some of these kids one egg a day, one extra egg a day, just one egg. Right. They followed these guys for over a year, and they found that the ones who got the egg increased their IQ by 15 points on average. What? Just one egg a day, at least one egg a day. You know, this is really important to your kids' development. That's how vital and important animal nutrition is, and animal source nutrients and fat and protein are. And the bioavailability is all there. Like an egg is a perfect protein. It has all the proteins that you need in the exact proportion that you need them. It has all the fat, cholesterol that you need because that's all the nutrients that you need to grow a new animal life, right? It's all right there, all packaged.
Okay. Anyway, that's like I said, real random, but I thought it was kind of interesting. He was talking about. I think it just points more to the fact that obviously, if you're getting good nutrition. I mean, it looked like those were like fresh. Those aren't raised in some big ass farm, you know. They're probably free range, healthier chickens, healthier eggs. But did you hear what he said that the kids' IQ went up when they were eating just one egg a day?
Yeah.
Believe
Yeah.
it.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. And eggs are really good for your brain. Actually, they have choline and stuff like that that are good for the brain. But anyways, I saw that today. I thought it was kind of interesting. I wouldn't have thought of an egg as a superfood necessarily, but it is really good protein. Okay, last video. So this guy's kind of going over like I think like more if he was talking to a client, or just anybody, you know, and kind of picking their brains and giving them. It was like a questionnaire that he had where it was like, okay, do we need supplements or not, or do you need supplements or not, and here's why. So he had you kind of going through. So you could do it. You guys already kind of sold on the necessity of the supplements, but I still think he brings up some good insights, some good points that'll make you maybe think differently about whether you want supplements or not. And also he's kind of speaking to different populations, so you'll kind of hear what he has to say. Okay. Last video.
CavalieraThleteX.com.
Can you hear that?
I'm going to help you to determine whether or not
Oh.
supplements are a right fit for you.
That's kinda
Supplements are
quiet.
not the right fit for everybody. But you can ask yourself a series of questions to determine whether or not you are a candidate. And it starts right here in our yes or no with where are you at in terms of your program? Are you just starting out? Are you a beginner? Are you a real skinny guy who's never really lifted a weight before in your life? Because guess who knows somebody that is like that? I do, because that's exactly what I was. Matter of fact, this is my actual very first dumbbell that I ever used. And you can see it right there. That's my 5-pounder. This 5-pounder went on to allow me to start lifting a lot heavier weight, but I started with that. And as a matter of fact, my brother told me, growing up, you have to earn the right, earn the privilege to be able to start taking supplements. Because if you're just starting out with really light weights and you're not really that sophisticated with your training yet, supplementation is overkill. You'd be much better off figuring out the basics and understanding how to start building your body from the ground up, learning the proper movements, the right way to train, how to put it all together before you start finessing it with supplements. Okay. On the other end of the spectrum, with the same note, if you're a guy who's allowed yourself to get incredibly out of shape, 40% body fat or above because of your absolutely poor nutrition habits, trying to fix them with supplementation is not the right way either. So you want to make sure that you're in that zone where you've dedicated yourself to getting in shape. You've been on that path now for a while, and you're looking to take it to the next level. Then you would be a yes. But otherwise, if you're just starting at either one of those extremes, you're going to wind up over here as a no. Here's a scenario now that I know a lot of you can probably relate to, but I am actually living it and breathing it every single day right now, and that's high levels of stress. And it doesn't have to be bad stress. It could be good stress. In my case, it is good stress. We've had twin boys. They came a little bit early. That's stressful, but we're trying to get them to grow and develop and sort of catch up to where they need to be. That's provided a lot of stress in my life. But guess what? I'm still going to train. I'm still going to try to eat as good as I can. But as I covered in my nutrition video the other day, where I show you some fast ways that I can create lots of meals at once, I'll actually link that here if you haven't seen that already. Stress is present in my life right now, and even more so. Supplementation can help you to overcome stress because it can do two things. Number one, we know how nutrition can be a large component of providing your body with the fuel it needs to stay healthy even in the face of stress. And we also know that we don't necessarily have the time to prepare it in stressful times. So supplementation can be extremely easy to prepare and allow you to be consistent with your nutrition. So for me, I've never been more reliant on my supplements than I am right now because I'm not always in a place where I can get good nutrition. The cafeteria at the hospital isn't the best place for me to get proper nutrition, but if I can mix up a shake, take it with me, and know that I'm going to have optimal nutrition at my fingertips whenever I need it, it becomes even that much more imperative. I will say, if you're in a high-stress job or find yourself in a high-stress situation and you don't want to sacrifice on your nutrition and you still want to be able to train, you're applying a lot of stress to your body, make sure at that point that you absolutely incorporate some form of supplementation to allow your body to recover that much faster, to allow you to bounce back even better. Okay, the next one is actually a personal question that I'm going to bring it down, bring it in here, and get man-to-man with you and ask you, to be honest with yourself, are you the type of person who takes your supplements and then finds yourself eating crappy foods because you figured you already did what you were supposed to do? If that's you, then supplements are not for you. Okay? They're not for you. But there's a key point to be learned from all this. And that is sometimes supplements will make that person much more accountable for the rest of their actions throughout the day. So you go and you spend all your hard-earned money on your supplements, okay? And you take them religiously. You take them regularly. You have that opportunity then to kind of screw off and do what you know you shouldn't be doing to be in line with what you're trying to achieve with your physique. You become much more aware, knowing how much money you spent on your supplements, knowing the hard work that you spent in the gym, and the time and the effort that you put into the gym to do what you knew you were supposed to do. You become less likely to kind of fall off the beaten path where you know you shouldn't. And that's where supplementation can become incredibly important and can make you accountable for all of your actions beyond the time when you're taking your supplements. Anybody can take a supplement. That's the easiest damn thing we can ever do. And that's why so many people love to take them, because we all know how simple it is to mix something up and drink it. But it's what goes on in all the other hours and minutes surrounding the time that you take your supplements that counts. And if it makes you more accountable, then absolutely, I think that they should be part of your plan, especially if you're that type of person. Okay, the next question you want to ask yourself is whether or not you're an athlete. And when I say athlete, I don't necessarily mean professional athlete. Matter of fact, we have a lot of guys that train here with this channel to look more athletic. But if you're an athlete, you better start taking your supplementation seriously, because if you don't, I can tell you right now, you're going to be left behind. Having just come back from the winter meetings last month in Nashville, Tennessee, the major focus of the strength and conditioning coaches at the major league level is supplementation. Because let's face it, the game of baseball has undergone some serious changes in the last few years to eliminate drugs from the game. It was a large portion of how players sort of prepared themselves every year, but that's gone. That's out of the game now. They need to be able to replace that with some real solid research, evidence-backed supplements to allow them to take their game to the next level. And those that aren't doing it are going to fall behind. And the same thing can be said here again for those that sort of want to take their, not just their performance, but their physique to the next level. Again, you've already dedicated, you're already on that path, you want to take it to the next level. Those are the guys that need to start looking into the benefits of supplementation. Okay, last but not least, we're going to play a little true or false here. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer which side you think. Do you think that you can get all your benefits of supplementation through food alone? That you don't need supplements to achieve the benefits of the things you're trying to supplement with? I'll give you a second here. Okay, I can end that now, the suspense, because the answer is a resounding false. And I'm going to give you two examples of this. When people try to take a supplement, let's just say they're taking glucosamine, right, a joint formula, and they're taking glucosamine, people that would argue that they can get the glucosamine that they would get, say, in our athlete mechanics, where are you getting that from? Are you out there at a restaurant ordering surf and turf and telling them to hold the lobster meat and just give you the shell because it tastes so damn good? What are you eating to get the glucosamine that you need to gain the benefits of the supplement? Now, does everybody have to take a joint formula? No. But if you're going to tell me that you're going to take a joint formula and or you want the benefits of glucosamine from a joint formula, but you don't need the joint formula, you're kidding yourself. You're playing the I'm natural game, and it doesn't really add up. And the same thing can be said about creatine, one of the most well-researched supplements out there. There's no doubt that creatine has plenty of research behind it, backing its efficacy for anybody that trains. We have our creatine in our RX2 post-workout supplement, and I can ask you again, where are you getting your creatine from? And I hear it all the time, Jeff, you can get creatine from meat. Jeff, you can get creatine from tuna. Let's take tuna as a perfect example. Tuna has actually 4.5 grams of creatine per, get ready, okay? 16 ounces of tuna. So that's a pound of tuna, okay? 4.5 grams of creatine is great. That's a good dosage for you. But guess what? If you know anything about creatine, that in order to gain the benefits here, you're going to have to take it daily. So that means you're going to have to take 16 ounces of tuna daily. That means that your budget is going to have to provide you with the opportunity to buy tuna at 16 ounces, which is 1 pound, at around $17 to $25 a pound, depending upon sushi grade or not, every single day. So when we start thinking about where your monthly bill is going to be, I don't know, maybe $500 to get your creatine. Does that make sense? Not to mention, you're going to probably wind up with mercury poisoning along the way. That doesn't sound like a real efficient way for you to get creatine. Does everybody need creatine? No, I'm not saying they all do. But don't come to me and say, Jeff, I want to get the benefits of creatine, and I'm going to be doing it through my
my regular diet and through the foods that I eat. It ain't gonna happen. So guess what? Again, a big false. If you want the benefits of specific ingredients to get the ergogenic benefits, then you better start realizing that most likely you're going to have a supplement here too. If you're not looking for those benefits, then you don't necessarily need it. And as I said in the very beginning, if you're the type who's going to take your supplements and think that that's it, you're all set, all the hard work goes out, you think that supplements are a replacement for hard ass work, then guess what? If you do me a favor, don't take my supplements, at least because it's a slap in my face. I don't believe that supplements are the answer for everybody, but I think that the majority of the people that follow this channel and follow the advice that I give here are a little bit more serious about their training. And in those cases, and a lot of the examples I just gave you here, you might be fitting one of those. Then supplements are something you should probably look into if you want to start taking your results to the next level. We have our supplements, guys. I'll stand behind them every single day. Every time I do a video here, we've got
Okay. That's pretty much the end of that video. That's pretty much the end. So first of all, just let me say this: it's creatine, not creatine, and it's glucosamine, not glucosamine. Okay, now Zach, I just say, the way he was saying those was driving me nuts. I'm like, dude. But anyways, I knew what he meant. So I thought that was a pretty decent video overall. I thought it was good. You know what? One thing that I thought was cool, which look, I'm not saying go out and buy supplements for this reason, but I would actually tell my clients this. If anything else, okay, let's just say that supplements did not work. Let's just say it was all placebo effect, which placebo is real. Obviously, you guys know that, right? If you're taking something you think it's going to work, it actually works. A lot of the placebo works better than the actual medication. But anyways, something that he said, which is very true. If anything, it can definitely keep you more accountable to your program, because if you're taking a supplement regularly, it's just going to be on your mind more. Everything else is going to be on your mind more. You're going to be thinking about things more. You're going to be planning things more. You know, you got to take this thing 2 to 3 times a day, and it's gonna keep you kind of more in tune with your overall program more. Which is true. I know that's like a tiny kind of indirect benefit, but in an indirect way, it definitely does keep people more on track. I'm not saying go out and buy something because of that, but overall, I think that is just one extra benefit too of staying consistent with that. But what do you guys think about that video?
Yeah. I didn't like pronouncing glucosamine and creatine, but
I mean, if people are on the fence, I think those are good topics to kind of explore.
I mean, I take those
for sure, because they make you think, and it's like I said. I mean, to me, my views, my overall view of supplements, I'm not a huge fan of supplements, just because I know that at the end of the day, we really don't know where they're coming from. We don't know exactly what's in them. But the other flip side of that is we already know how much damage we're doing to our bodies just by living and just eating the stuff we're eating, putting the stuff in our bodies. So part of me is like, well, we have nothing to lose. I mean, the stuff is either going to not work or it's going to work and help us. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'd rather just play that. Well, it's gonna just bank on hopefully that it's helping you, doing what it says it's supposed to do. So we got a few more minutes. Now, hey Bernadette. So with my clients, and again, if we already talked about this, you can just stop me. But Lauren and I have had this conversation. But so if we're doing like a supplement talk, right, and I cover supplements at some point in our training, then I break it down into 3 categories basically, right? And so I try to sit down with the person, the client, and we'll go over general health. And I always emphasize that general health, out of all of them, is the most important. People are training with us mainly because they have these body composition goals, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe fitness goals. But at the end of the day, if we generally aren't healthy and we don't have that foundational health, then your body's just not going to respond that well. It's not going to recover right. It's not going to perform as well, So general health to me is most important. Then you have fat loss, and then you have muscle gain, right? And so I'll go into each category, see what they have, see what they don't have, based on their goals, and based on what their lifestyle looks like. I'll make suggestions to them. So did we have that time?
We did, but I mean, at first I wasn't really I wouldn't say not paying attention. I wasn't getting a full grasp of it, right?
Gotcha.
So I went in December for Christmas. I treated myself,
Yeah.
a DEXA scan.
Oh,
So I
okay.
scanned my whole body.
Yep.
And I saw like my body fat percentage is high, right?
Okay.
Which considering how I eat, which I said, okay, I've been eating so bad over these last years,
Yeah.
but my visceral fat is low.
Oh, okay.
Now I want to go up, and I was gonna, I just wanted to get this little thyroid issue out of the way, but I
Sure.
want to focus on my muscle gain and
Okay.
try to lower that body fat percent.
Okay. I got you. So hey,
That's where we are. Yeah.
that's good. You better thank your genetics, Bernadette. I'm gonna tell you right now, because generally, if someone's body fat is high overall, then their
Yeah.
visceral fat's gonna be high too. And if
Yeah.
your visceral fat wasn't that high, that's good actually, because that's the
Yeah.
worst fat. It's around your organs.
Yes.
So now yours is more subcutaneous, like and you just want to change the composition, recomposition.
Yes.
Okay.
I want-
Okay. And I mean, that's a good strategy. We did talk about some of that. Obviously, the more lean mass you build, it's going to help you burn more calories overall at rest, and then also while you're working out. So I think that's definitely a smart approach. And there were some other videos that I had that I could have played, but they were emphasizing to the athletes primarily how hard it is to get enough like protein, like you were saying, protein,
Yes.
things to recover. Right. Because we are exerting our bodies. And it's like when I tell my prep athletes, they are trying to achieve this extreme look. I'm not saying you're going that far, but I'm just saying like they want to get on stage as lean as possible with as much muscle as possible, right? So it's an extreme look. So I tell them, look, man, to do extreme, if you want that extreme look, you got to do some extreme stuff, put your body through some stuff. So you need to make sure you're recovering properly. You need to make sure that you're going to be able to rebuild and all that stuff efficiently. So yeah, my plan was to kind of go into that stuff on the call, but we have about 1 minute. So if you want to talk about some of that stuff, I have some good suggestions for you on the muscle gain supplements.
Okay.
And there's kind of 3 categories with that you kind of want to explore. So one would be putting your body in anabolic state. So providing making an environment possible where your body's gonna have the nutrients it needs to rebuild and recover. So that would be things like weight gain shakes. There's people that like we call them hard gainers. They just have a hard time gaining weight and stuff like that. You don't need that necessarily, but that's a category, right? The other part of that category is even what he was saying, looking at your hormones, even for women that's smart. And there's hormonal like over the counter like herbal supplements you could do to enhance your hormones, your own natural hormones, just elevate them so that your body's recovering better, having protein better, stuff like that. And then another category would be what I call like anti-catabolic. So if you are in a position where like you're dieting, you're depleted, you're in a big deficit, whatever, there's a good chance, probably several chances that you are going to probably use some amino acids for fuel, which means, and those are coming from your muscles, right? Which means you can lose muscle in the process, which you don't want to do, obviously.
Right.
And that's a higher likelihood to happen when you are depleted and you're working out hard, working out more hours and stuff like that. So there's supplements that can replace some of those amino acids that you'd be losing that could cause you to go catabolic. They can help with recovery. Usually the one benefit of those kind of supplements is no extra calories. It's usually like amino acids, things like that you can take, branched chain aminos, glutamine, things like that can speed up the recovery. Usually, like I said, no calories and stuff like that. And then I guess the other category would be like performance enhancement. So like creatine's a good example. That's one of the most studied, one of the safest supplements you can take, men, women, doesn't matter. But that can help delay fatigue while you work out. It's a slight cell volumizer, so it pulls more water into the muscles, which can help your strength levels, helps your muscle size, which is, and I'm not saying like you're gonna get enormous, like you can't. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. But I mean, it can definitely help you build lean mass and help the size of your muscles and also help your performance, recovery, things like that, power output. So you might want to look into those, but we can talk more about it.
Okay.
So other than that, you two, hey, thanks for jumping on the call. That's about all I got for you today.
I appreciate it.
But I really appreciate it, Will. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, and like I said, and that might be another reason why we had less today, because I remind you guys at the end of each call, if you can't jump on the call, I mean, I would encourage it, but if you can't, I'm recording them. So I'm posting them each week So you can go back and refer to it later, you know.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Any last questions, comments? Anything like
All
that?
right.
No,
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks for jumping on there. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
one.